Good morning and welcome to week 2. Today's lesson is going to be fairly short, and it's just a building block to give you some fundamental understanding before you go ahead and listen to the podcast which I attached to this video. The podcast is going to be really fundamental and a building block to what we're trying to create for our bodies and understand what is happening physically in our bodies and how exactly does that unfold as we age in life. If you read the book or you didn't, it doesn't matter. The foundation that I have found in my own health journey and working with clients is that there's 2 root issues when you develop symptoms of disease, illness, and even depression and anxiety. There are 2 things going on. One of them is the physical root, and the other one is the emotional root. The physical root are physical symptoms that are happening caused by stress and inflammation. Everyone experiences stress and inflammation. It is absolutely normal because as we age, our bodies don't produce the same amount of enzymes. If they're not able to attack the stressors that come into our bodies, and it creates inflammation that grows and flourishes and eventually develops disease and illness. What is happening is as we age, our body loses the capability of creating these essential enzymes that help us process these toxins and inflammatory agents that enter our body. We can breathe in toxins, it comes in through the food we eat, we get stressors from the environment, radiation from our phones. We experience stress on all levels. And in addition to that, we experience a stress that happens because of our life experiences, the amount of stressors that we have, how many responsibilities we have. All of this adds physical stress to our bodies. And what happens with that physical stress is it begins to cause damage to our cells. Our cells create everything in our body. And if our cells, which is this minuscule little part of our body, is creating this inflammation and then damage is occurring to our cells, then what's going to happen to what our cells build? Damage is going to happen to our organs, damage is going to happen to our tissues, and eventually disease and illness is going to be created. So that is the physical root. The physical root is that we ingest stress in many different ways and impacts our body in a physical way by creating damage to our cells. Now, the other one is the emotional root. The emotional root is a little bit more complex, and most people are not aware of it, and they don't really want to deal with that stress because you can hide it under the rug. You can kind of forget about it. You don't want to think about it. Nobody wants to be aware that there are emotional stressors that are happening in their body. And usually the emotional stress component is something that happens as we age and it can progressively get worse. Now, usually these emotional stressors occur because we have pre-established beliefs that we created in our little minds when we were kids. So usually it happens between the ages of 1 and 8 years old. Some kind of an experience happened. We weren't exactly sure how to process it. We then created a belief in our subconscious mind. And then as we start experiencing life, this belief impacts how we react to our environment and also the kinds of emotions that we feel within our bodies. And that creates a high sense of stress that is an emotional stress, which is what we talk about, the emotional root. Now, if you combine the 2 things together, that's where disease and illness starts to occur. So the emotional root is really the most important part of my program. So we work on the physical root. If I had to give you numbers, I would say the physical root of it is about 25%. 25% we work on nutrition, we work on supplementation, and we create a foundation for the body. We build a foundation so then we can continue to grow and improve how we feel by creating awareness and action. Awareness and action has to do with the emotional root. We're going to be tackling those obstacles that were created so long ago, reframing those beliefs in our subconscious mind to things that we actually want to achieve, things that we really want to believe, and forgetting those things that we didn't agree with, but we created when we were little kids. And they don't align with what we want to do in life now. So we want to stop that pattern. So what is usually happening at this point is that there's a pattern happening within your body. If you're having symptoms, your body is stuck in a pattern. Whatever pattern you are used to experiencing, whether it's digestive issues, having panic attacks, having sleep disturbances, or a multitude of other symptoms. You might be on prescriptions. It just depends on where you're at in your life track and where you've gone through medical healthcare and where you are right now. But that doesn't matter. We're going to work on creating a foundation and then working on the emotional root simultaneously to then create a synergistic effect that actually helps us tackle both roots and create a transformation in our lives so that we can make it to our dream come true. Everybody's dream come true is very different. Some people might want to travel somewhere and enjoy a calm vacation without having panic attacks. Other people might just want to feel healthy within their body, not having chronic pain, not being limited and not being able to go to social events. They want to be able to go to these social events and feel happy, energized, and not be restricted by their symptoms. Other people, it may be that they want to have better sex, better orgasms. They want to be more connected with their body. Everyone is different, but the main goal is to tackle both the physical and the emotional root so we can truly make it to your own unique wellness and then achieve your dream come true. So now, with all this little information about the physical and emotional root, when you have time to listen to the podcast, take some time, do some breathing, and really listen to what I'm saying in the podcast and what Dr. Federico is saying, and see how his practice aligns with mine, even though I don't do any blood tests. I simply listen to my client. What are they experiencing? What are the symptoms that are happening within their bodies? What are these emotions that are coming up? And then we tackle both simultaneously. It's a miraculous experience, and I hope you enjoy the podcast. See you on our next call.